Hello.
Hey everybody, we made it.
Okay, I'm just gonna play with the camera a little bit here. Oh, there. Yet again,
It's always a race. She's like,
we're doing.
we got a video at 5:55. I was like, why did you do it at 5:55? We need that extra 5 minutes. This this rose bush is attacking you.
Such is my life. Such is my life. Rosebush is attacking.
Yeah,
Hello.
everything's been so busy lately. Like every single moment has been like taken up.
Alright, but what I titled this was "We are officially done potting up tomatoes."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Woo!
Did you tell every- that was
That
not
was
me.
you.
That
That
was
was
not
you.
me.
Yeah.
Tell everybody your secret to finish your last tray really fast.
Oh, so I forgot a tray outside, and then we got a night that went down to -3, and so I killed an entire tray,
Yeah.
which makes me sad because it was of my ground cherries, which I was hoping to have a bunch of it.
Yeah. So to get the scale, if you don't know, of how many tomatoes Serena had to replant or repot, was it 1,800?
Yeah,
1,800. It was like it was like a crazy amount of work.
yeah. Well, and yeah, we're you know we took a video like to the how much we've done after before we tilled the farm. I told Ian that he had to get out the drone and take a drone video of what the property looked like because I knew that there was going to be so many changes over the next little bit. And and then when did you do the most recent drone?
Just a couple days
Like
ago.
yeah, so then a couple days ago Ian did the updated
Yeah.
drone
And
video.
everything looks so different.
And it's like I was looking at the dates because I was like, wow, we've gotten so much done in the last 2 months. And I went back and looked at the date
And it was just a month.
and it was a month. It was like a
Yeah.
month exactly between the two drone videos. And it's insane. And it's crazy also how green everything
Yeah.
is now. It looks so green and so pretty, whereas in the first drone video it was like super dreary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's starting to look really pretty here. There's like all the gardens are filled with weeds.
Everything's very yellow
Yeah.
because it's just a sea of dandelions, which it's pretty,
Yeah.
but it also represents how weedy
We're not
things
we're not
have.
doing that this year. We're not
Yeah.
going after those. And uh it doesn't matter cuz like stuff can have weeds except for the
Yeah.
farm. The farm is also weedy, but it's not supposed to be.
Yeah, the farm needs to get weeded already. But
We bought a tiger torch today. I got tiger torches already, but I can't find them. And so we're going to do like we've been buying stuff from our buddy Kurt and he had a flame weeder and we are like, "Oh, we want that so bad." But it's going to someone else. And so we're just going to get a tiger torch and just like walk along and flame the ground for weed control. What Kurt would do is, like, you harvest a bed, it's done, and then, when you're kind of getting close to ready to replant it, you give it a flame weed and it just like nukes everything, and then you wait 7 days.
well, okay, Ian doesn't know what he's talking about. Because the trick is that you flame it right before the
No,
seeds
I do know.
pop.
I knew
Okay.
because you do it, and then you wait 7 days, and then a week later you do it again, and by then everything's germinated.
Okay.
And then
The-
I talked to Kurt the other day. This
Okay.
is exactly what he did.
Okay.
And then you can plant it and it's totally sterile to start with. So when you start doing that over the course of all your beds in your farm, then you start to get control over the weed pressure.
Yeah, but so the trick is, because Ian doesn't, I know this, but the trick is you know when things are going to germinate, and so you plant these like identifier seeds, which give you like a clue that in like a day or two following when those seeds pop, that your seeds will pop.
Yeah.
And then when so like you have radishes and they germinate in like 3 to 4 days, in front of beets, and beets normally germinate in like 5 to 6 days. And so when you see the radishes pop, you know that your beets are gonna pop
Yeah, I
in
know what
a
you're
day or
saying.
two, and that's when you flame weed it. So it kills everything that's in the bed, and then your seeds pop.
Regardlessly, we are going to be, employing that technique for weed control because we just don't have time to be like doing stuff.
Yeah,
I like.
and the more important reason of why Ian bought the Tiger Torch today is I'm crossing my fingers it shows up tomorrow because I thought it would show up today, but I bought
Landscape fabric.
landscape fabric, and because one of the main things that we want to grow on the farm is is um is lettuce. And so I'm going to have 4 beds of lettuce. And so the plan is the lettuce is going to be transplants, and then we can transplant it into landscape fabric. And then that will at least be 4 of
Yeah.
the 20 beds that won't be such a nightmare
Yeah.
to weed.
So let's talk
But-
about berries. Somebody was asking about berries. So in the last
Oh, wait,
2
oh yeah,
weeks-
okay, so
2 weeks we planted.
okay, so we're before Ian gets into this, we're gonna make a video where we say everything that we've done
Yeah.
because it's insane.
We've just
how
been-
much we've done.
We've just been doing so much.
Yeah. Okay. So berries.
Okay, so we planted 5 blackberries, which isn't a ton, but that's what we got. And we planted 25 of one raspberry,
No. Oh yeah.
and then another 10 of another.
Yeah.
And then we planted, what was it, like 600 strawberry
Yeah.
plants?
So I bought 1,000 strawberry plants, and
Which sounds like a lot.
but yeah, I mean
No, it
it's,
sounds like
it's
a
a
lot. It's a
hundred.
lot. That's
Yeah,
a lot
it's a
of
lot.
strawberries.
But it's also like 100% reasonable amount to buy, if you're me, because I bought it and I find it completely reasonable.
I'm excited because I think I will get a strawberry this year. I think
Yeah.
I probably had like a dozen of them all year last year. And they were all like, half green because Sam would be of the age where he'd just be like grabbing them regardless of color and then be like, no, I don't want that one.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't plant in the ground 1,000 strawberries.
No. But we did probably about 600.
No, because I think we gave
Well, whatever.
away
We did
about
hundreds,
150,
hundreds.
and we potted up 300,
Oh, yeah, we did 100.
and then we still have another 150 to pot up.
Okay.
So I guess that means we planted like 400.
Yeah.
Other than potting up to like we planted 3 new strawberry beds.
One of the ways we're going to make money is by being a nursery this year. We're not committed to being a nursery like forever, but we are like trying to do that as one of our, initial
One of our ways to try to make money.
yeah, and see what people want.
Yeah.
And our main draw is that we're going to have all these cool tomato plants that you're not going to be able to just go to the local nursery and
Yeah,
get
because we
these,
have
like,
Wild Boar Farm tomatoes.
Yeah,
and
and-
those tomatoes are better than all of the other tomatoes.
they're really cool.
Instagram has convinced me.
Yeah. Even if you don't eat one of them and you just take pictures of it.
Oh,
to
I can't
people-
wait! I can't
To
wait.
people, that's gonna have value.
we're
right?
we're gonna have like so many of them planted out.
So,
I'm so excited.
Last year, Serena sold like some plants, and she had people asking for the same sorts of things all the time. And we figured that if we bought 1,000 strawberries, that we'd be able to pot some up, and we'd be able to, sell those.
Yeah.
So we've got like 3 strawberry plants potted in a 1 gallon. Is that what that is?
Yeah. So like a 1 gallon pot.
Yeah.
Like what you buy like a small shrub in type thing.
And we're hoping for $10 that we can maybe get like $10. And we're like, these are the type of thing that we can bring to the market with us too.
Yeah, so our market starts in the first week of June. And the one thing, like, because I'm like, because we potted up 100 of these 1 gallon pots with the strawberries. And I was like, that's a lot to sell. Like, I don't know how many of them we're going to sell. But then I was thinking about it, and I was like, if we go to the farmer's market with a pot of strawberry plants that has, like, fruit on it, that then I think for sure we'd be able to sell that. That's kind of this, like, unique specialty item.
Yeah.
So it's like we could bump 10 down to the market, every time we do a farmer's
If they
market.
sell,
and
they sell, and
try
if
to
not, they
sell
go
it.
back. And
Yeah, exactly. They don't go bad. They can just stay and we can eat strawberries off of them.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So, we're trying to kind of pay for the investment, right?
Yeah.
And
And then so the other berries. So those are just our new berries. 1,000 strawberries, 35 raspberries, and 5 blackberries are our newest addition.
yeah,
But our other berries, so we didn't know 100% because we last year we transplanted all of these berry bushes from our old place.
lots of currants, hassops, um,
Gooseberries.
yeah,
Yeah, like red, white, black currants.
probably what, like a dozen of them, something. It was something like a dozen.
Yeah, something like that.
And only one of them has died, and all the rest of them have come back and they're all growing. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah, there's some death on it.
Yeah, but like overall, everything will continue. All of our strawberry plants that we brought over from last year, those all survived.
Oh yeah, and
And
and today I was looking and we have flowers, first flowers on our strawberries, and they're on the ever-bearing ones. So that's exciting.
last winter I did this, or last fall I did this project, this like chain link fence, and the goal of it, like the reason it goes up so high, is with that bar we're gonna like grow grapes up and then, you know, trellis.
Yeah, it's basically a trellis. It's a fence and a trellis.
So we'll have
in
this
one.
like green fence. So this year we need to buy, you know, whatever we're going to use there. We are going to wait and find the right grapes because we bought grapes that weren't the right grapes at our old place.
Yeah, lesson learned when you go to buy a grape, know what you're buying. Because we went to the nursery and we're like, oh, like red grape, white grape. You know, we just bought whatever. And then 4 years later, when the vines finally produced some fruit, the fruit was disgusting.
Yeah.
We're like we're never gonna eat these. And it wasn't too much of a concern for us because we had this vine that was growing over from the neighbors and it produced really, really good grapes. So
Yeah,
we were like, whatever, like we got this good eating grape.
we had more grapes than we could deal with.
Yeah.
So we were in an okay grape position.
Yeah.
But now we don't have any grapes.
Now we don't have any grapes and we've learned our lesson. So my plan is for buying grapes, I'm going to actually buy them from someone who just like propagates plants and like sells them on like local classifieds type thing. And I'm going to go when grapes are in season and be like, I want to taste what the grape tastes like that corresponds to the plants. So then I know. Logic, it's like when you buy your milk goats and you taste the mother's milk
Yeah.
to make sure you have like tasty milk lines.
Here's a
No garbage.
wait, I'm
grapes.
gonna give some juicy goss.
Okay, I'm excited.
One of our neighbors, we just found out because we're just kind of meeting the neighbors. He lives alone and he's got 50 goats, and he can't even get himself to sell them because he loves them so much, which is understandable because they are like the most
They're
adorable
like
creatures.
we drive by and we're like, oh, they're so because they have all the babies right now.
So he'll like we have all these like East Indian families that live in this area and farm, and like one of them will be like coming to buy the goat, and you'll be like, what do you want to do with it? But it's like that's a crazy amount of work to like have 50
yeah, 50
animals
pet
that are
goats.
pets.
That would
Yeah.
be like having like 50 pet dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but cuter because they're goats.
Yeah. Like we were just driving over there the other day, and like one of the moms was going along, and the like little like
Oh,
kids,
the
like,
babies are so cute.
jumping back
They're
and
so
forth in front of
cute.
mom.
Goats destroy me. Yeah, 6 is more than enough. I couldn't imagine more.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely maxed out. Though, yeah, also cute.
Cats.
Yes.
Yep. I'm a cat person.
Yeah.
Our neighbor's got a puppy, and like so they have like a border collie, and like I've never had any sort of, you know, we've never had a moment. Me and Skip, you know, Skip is fixated on water, and
Yeah, so anytime we're outside, we have like a tap on the back of the
the
barn.
outbuilding, that building right there.
And Skip sits and just like watches
At the fence,
and waits
just like-
at the fence. He just like sits and stares at our tap, like because what he wants is for you to like turn on the water and then like spray the water. And it's not that he's like thirsty
No.
or that he like
I was trying
wants
to
to
give
play
him-
with water. It's that he's like it's like when you throw like a stick into a pile of sticks to a dog and it like loses its mind. He like just doesn't understand.
Well, you like flick the water.
Yeah,
and
he
then
tries
like,
to catch the water
He snaps at it.
and then but it disappears and he's like it has to come back.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just
you know,
torture for
everybody knows how like
Border
fixated
collies.
border collies
Yeah.
are. So like, you know, like Skip never looks at you in the eye and is like, oh, like let's
Yeah, like
have a
oh,
dog
I'll
moment.
have a pet instead of water. He's just like turn that water on, turn that water
wa-
on, turn that water on.
like 100% of the time. So they got this puppy and it's like a floppy eared, you know, like black spot, like could be on like a dog food commercial type puppy.
Yeah.
And it was like hanging out for a while there.
They're
you
so
know,
cute with their big paws.
they're like rolling around. Skip and this puppy are just rolling around in this pile of adorableness all the time. And then I think the puppy started running for. You can see those trees kind of in the back. That goes down into like, you know, no man's land. It's just a bunch of land that goes down to the highway on this like steep embankment. And the neighbors have like a little open part in the back of their fence where the dogs can go out. And so now they've been keeping Sadie on a leash, this like little puppy, because she just goes right for that hole in the fence. And I saw it happen the other day. They have, you know, like teenager girls, and this girl, she's like chasing after the dog with like the leash, and the
Yeah, they
Sadie's
always
just, like,
have
full
they always
on.
have the puppy in the leash so that they can like grab her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Sadie like didn't slow down, and she made it. She was like, you know, into the freedom, I guess, because I didn't see them come back for a while. Like I saw eventually they came back.
I've seen them like go down there and like have to hunt her.
We're not gonna get a dog. We spent so much money at the vet on cats, and we get some dog protection from our neighbor dog Skip, because he just barks. Like
Yeah.
if he's not waiting for water, then he just goes to the trees and he just faces the trees and just barks. So you know,
And the fences, like we don't have like a privacy fence. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like open fence, like the chain link type thing. So Skip can see in to see if there's predators and stuff.
yeah, and we just can't afford dogs. You know, we spent enough money. People are always like, oh, now you can get a dog, and we're like,
You know, you get tied down enough just with all the, you know, the plants, and once we have chickens, like, you know, that's busy work without adding on, you know,
Yeah.
like it just takes time to add more animals into the mix.
yeah, we've already got 2 years planned. This is actually kind of a nice break for me sitting down. I've been doing something that I like to call always on my feet, always busy. And so it's just basically like, you know, sometimes at night I'll be like, oh, I'm so tired, but I'll just be like slowly working at cleaning up after the kids and stuff. Just trying to keep busy and stay productive all day. And that's been like really effective. I know you've been working super hard too.
Yeah, I mean, we've like, you know, like we were saying at the beginning there, we've like gotten so much done.
I've lost like probably like 15 pounds now in the last 2 months.
Yeah, Ian keeps weighing himself. He's like, what?
Yeah, I was into the
The
170s.
Siamese is Mew. That's his name.
Yeah, Siamese is or Muse. He's like
He's
my little buddy.
he's pretty classic Siamese. He's pretty
so
funny.
dumb.
Yeah.
He was terrified of socks for 2 years.
Or longer. It was like
It was
a
a good
long
it was a good
time.
2 years. So I had this pair of socks that were kind of woolly and they had all these like little, you know, fibers coming out of them. And he was like touching it one day with his claw and it came back at him because like the little furs like got caught on his claws. And he's like, I don't like that. And he like walked around it, but he kind of brought it into the hallway by doing that. And then the next morning I got up and he was down the hall like drinking at his water bowl, and I had just clipped my toenails and I had like a little sharp burr on my toenails and it caught this sock, and I like took a step and the sock got catapulted down the hallway and it like landed on him, and then he just saw it and he was like, ah! And then he was like running as fast as he could, and he was like running into walls, and he went downstairs, and like for the rest of the.
Yeah, he didn't like come up, back upstairs, like, because this
Yeah.
was like at our house where like all the living was on the main level. We very rarely
Yeah,
went
he
downstairs,
didn't go
and
downstairs.
he literally other
He
like
started living down there.
yeah, he lived down there for a week. Like
And
he didn't
then
even like come up
when
for
he would come
food.
up, he'd like walk slowly, and then he'd like see a sock, and he'd be like, he was so dumb.
And it lasted for like years.
Yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't just like a one-time thing and then he got over it. He was like, nope.
yeah, he's just so dumb.
Yeah.
But he's pretty cute, and he sleeps on.
Yeah, he
Serena's head.
sleeps on my head. He like sleeps on the pillow and then like lays his like self around my head.
So in the wintertime, when I'm away at work, Serena actually appreciates a little like cat hat.
Yeah, he's literally like my nightcap keeping. He's like a heated water bottle on my head.
And he started doing that to our daughter now too.
Yeah, so during naps, he'll like go and like crawl into bed with her, which is funny because one of our big bills this year was that she picked him up in a weird way.
Yeah.
And because she's like starting to be big enough that she can pick up the cats. And he like something happened to him. And it was like, oh, he's like dying.
He couldn't use like one of his hind legs hardly at all. He couldn't put any weight on it. And you know, like it's a cat, right? Like if something gets really buggered up, you know, you are potentially facing, you know, like, oh, you got to put him down. Like it's never going to be the same. You
Yeah.
live a life of pain. And you know, it was a couple months or it took him to heal, but he luckily healed. And
Yeah, and but for like a good chunk of time, he was like, "Nope, don't go near Leah.
Yeah.
Like, you did this to me."
but he has the memory of a goldfish,
Well,
except for when he's been wronged.
yeah, he also another thing that he does, which is hilarious, is if you like hurt him, like because cats they get like under your feet and then you step on them, and so if you step on him, he'll be all like, "Oh, why did you do this to me?" And Ian's always the one always stepping on him, so he'll be like, "Oh, you hurt my arm," and he'll like be limping and stuff. But then Ian would leave the room, and then he'd be in the room with just me, and then he'd be like, "Oh, I'm fine," and then Ian would come back in the room, and he'd be like, "Oh."
Yeah.
So he'd like he was literally like
He actually did that.
he'll like
he would do that
all the time. Yeah, he'd like always be.
It's not as bad in this
guilting.
house because they're, you know, like they have all their spots and they're not under our feet as much. But at our old house, like he was always under our feet. We'd be going up the stairs, and he'd be like running up the stairs with us, and that's when it would happen. And like multiple times, he'd be like,
Cats are hilarious
"You
though.
hurt me." We're like, get over it, man. You know, man up. He's like, I can't man up. You took my balls.
The guilt didn't work.
Yeah.
Ian is guiltless.
I won't feel guilt if I don't feel like I've done anything wrong. And if you're gonna run under my feet while I go up the stairs,
That's on you, Mew.
yeah, totally.
What? Okay, so what else have we been up to? I am so excited about being done the tomatoes.
Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating. 120 hours.
Oh yeah, because when you first did some, like, because we're planting them in paper pots, so the paper pots take so much time to make.
Well,
And-
okay, so
No. You finished like you worked really hard for a day, like the very first day. You put like a bunch of hours into it right at the start, and
to pot them up.
to pot them up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, that was a pretty hard working day. Like, how many did you get done? And you're like, 2 trays. And I was like, how many trays did you do? And I was like, you're like, there's 20. And it was like,
No,
that-
there's more than that. There was like 25.
yeah, whatever it
trays.
is. There was like lots, and it was like, you just worked an entire day trying to get these pots done, and you're telling me that we have 10 days of this while like doing all this other stuff. That's what it was. Like there was never any like, oh, it got a lot faster. It was just this like grind where, you know, you'd be going to bed late because you'd get outside and just be like grinding away at planting pots. And
Yeah, we'd be like put the kids to bed, and then I'd go and I'd stay out till like 2 in the morning. I'd do like
Yeah.
like 5 hours until like my shoulders would get so sore from being like ugh,
yeah,
trying to
she's
like,
like,
do it.
oh.
But yeah, so the pots themselves to make go fast because I can make about 100 an hour while watching television. So that's like, you know, to make 1,800 was like 18 hours at that rate,
Yeah.
which isn't like that's fast.
But then you got to put dirt in them.
and then the prep that Ian does. So like on the video that we just put up, he was like showing him doing that. And what he was doing was he was like putting a shovelful into the bottom, and then you pack it down. And what that does is the paper pot itself, it's just kind of like, it's just really loosely bunched. And then when you put the dirt in, because that's the reason why when you make them, you need to have like something that has an indent, because you're not just making it flat, you're making it actually indented in so that it kind of creates this like flower shape. And then when you put the dirt in and pack it on the bottom, that is like what really solidifies the shape of the pot and makes it strong.
What's the name of that indent on the bottom of a wine bottle?
I don't know.
Somebody's got to know that. But that's what you need. You need the wine bottle.
So that's why you need a wine bottle to do it. But yeah, so Ian was doing that, and that step went pretty fast too, because Ian
it wasn't bad.
That was probably at the same rate. That was probably like you could do 100 pots in an hour.
Yeah, it was definitely slower than making pots, but not by much.
Yeah.
Same ballpark.
Yeah, and then, but the thing that took so long, because it would take me a half an hour to do an entire tray, which is 18 pots, and my 72 trays. So to do a 72 tray, I had to do 4 trays of paper pots.
Yeah, one tray would turn into 4 trays.
Yeah, and so to do that,
so 25 trays of starch is 100 trays of paper pots.
So to each of the paper pot trays took me a half an hour, because it basically took like 2 minutes per pot per each pot for planting the seedling. And the reason is that the pots aren't strong, so
you can't just like manhandle it.
Yeah, you can't just like smack it. You have to like be very gentle and precise about how you're putting the dirt in, and then you can't just loosely put the dirt in. You have to put the dirt in like firmly.
Punt. I knew somebody would know.
Yeah, you need to put the dirt in firmly, because the structure of the paper pot becomes just like it basically becomes a soil block.
So for those who don't know, why did you do paper pots?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, Google. Well,
to reduce plastic.
Yeah, so we did paper pots because if we bought 1,800 little tiny plastic pots and then sent them out into the world to people who buy their tomato plants, then there's a good chance that those would just end up in the garbage.
And yeah, that's something that we are trying to avoid.
Yeah, because so like all the ones for me are in plastic, because I have about 100 plastic
just
pots.
In our pot supply.
Yeah, from like, people give them to me all the time and everything. And I also planted up a bunch of smaller stuff. We bought a bunch of 2-inch pots for ourselves to use for the nursery, but we didn't want to send out all these plastic pots. Like the cost of the 2-inch pots that we bought was like, they were super cheap. They were like 10 cents each. And the 4-inch pots are pretty comparable when I looked at the pricing. I think they were 12 cents each. So like super affordable to be able to.
We could have easily it
wasn't a money saving thing to do the paper pots, because basically, so what do we say? It like 18 hours of making pots.
You said 100 and
it took about 120 hours, I figure.
Yeah.
But if 40 of those hours was us prepping the pots, and then half an hour,
it took twice as long to pot each one.
Yeah, so
you're talking about 70, 80 hours.
Yeah, we could have saved like somewhere in the range of 50 to 90 hours to do it.
Yeah. But
yeah, and you know what? The soil blocks we like and the soil blocks we use, and I'm convinced that maybe the soil blocks are the perfect thing to even use for like on farm, because you don't have to unpack them before you transplant them. But to do a tomato, you just need such a big thing.
Yeah, soil block doesn't really work for it.
And I know they have the large size soil block. I'm just concerned about how much you'd be able to handle that size of a soil block.
They need a pot. I'd rather do paper pots than soil blocks for tomatoes. But for stuff that you can do soil blocks,
and so like another thing that we did in the last month is we did 50 trays of soil blocks up. Like that, I think I did like a live video when I was just working on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and exactly. They're great for like basil, lettuce, like kale, like
We we
so with the 50 that trays that I did, that's all the soil blocks that we have going for
yeah.
like seedling sales. Like those we're gonna sell as well too. And last year people are like, yeah, sure, soil blocks, awesome, sounds great. Like no one was concerned
Yeah.
about buying stuff in the soil blocks. But yeah, I mean the tomatoes, they just have to grow for so long, right? Like so I started my peppers beginning of February
Mhm.
or mid February. My peppers and eggplants I started like super long ago. And then the tomatoes I started like 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
So, I've been babying them for like 2 months now, and they're not gonna go anywhere. But
Should we tell them that we're expecting? We're gonna have a third greenhouse. We're gonna have a third
uh,
greenhouse.
I'm like, that's definitely. I'm like, I don't think you need to tease that. I
No.
don't think anyone thinks.
No, we are expecting a third greenhouse, and we heard it might be twins. We've been buying all this stuff from Curtis Stone, who is like a friend of ours, and because he's kind of like moving from the farm side of things, he just does consultation work, and he doesn't need to have the farm anymore because he already knows that stuff and he doesn't have time for it. So he has all of these caterpillar tunnels, and we just picked up a couple of his old caterpillar tunnels. So they're like 50 feet by 12 feet. So we're gonna have like,
Yeah, another.
a ton of.
What is that? 1,200? 1,200 more square feet.
It
Yeah, no more babies.
It was a pretty good joke.
No more
I think that was a pretty
babies.
good joke.
I told Ian that if he carries the next one, then we can have a third. But I'm not going to be
Yeah.
pregnant.
No, Serena doesn't want to be pregnant
I'm
anymore.
over being pregnant and
If-
babies. I'm over babies
Yeah.
too.
In the future, we've talked.
Babies are overrated.
We like kids. We like kids. Kids are fun.
Yeah.
But um, so we
Yeah,
did-
yeah. So he's not doing like the market garden anymore.
He just-
He's still do. I think that his plan is that he's doing like more experiment type stuff, isn't he?
Yeah, he does experiments. He's got a website now where people can like, because he's got this like core audience of people that kind of like done his courses and stuff and have questions for him. And then he's got this website now where it's like subscription based, and people can go right to him and be like, Kurt, how do I do this? And then he'll just like make some quick video up and be like, this is how you do it. And then they'll be like, thanks, that's exactly what I wanted. And it works for Kurt because he gets to make videos that are like more direct, and they don't have to be like, it doesn't have to have an intro and like music and stuff. It can be like the answer to the question.
Yeah,
and,
just like
and
like a live video.
and that's what people want at this point in time from him as well.
Yeah.
And so he's gonna do that, and then he's got his fingers in a million different areas of that world as well. So he's just
Yeah, he's so busy. Like, and he has so many connections to like, world-class farms that, at a certain point just to source
Mhm.
information from other farms to then, use his platform to share it makes a ton more sense rather than him like breaking his back trying to, make pay the bills with a farm.
yeah. We've been getting like a bunch of irrigation stuff from him as well. Like we got piles and piles of impact heads and fittings for irrigation and like line and stuff. We got a
That's an Ian job.
Yeah.
I'm like, make it so I can quickly do it.
we got a CoolBot computer from him, so we can do our CoolBot cooler with the window air conditioner.
Yeah, that's next week's.
Yeah, the CoolBot's like the brain that takes over the window air conditioner and turns it into, your
Yeah, they're super cool. If you guys have never heard of them before,
Yeah.
it basically turns a window air conditioner into like a refrigeration.
So you can just
Like,
build, an insulated room and then use that for your cooling, and then you can have like a giant commercial fridge for like a tiny fraction of what they charge for them
yeah.
because they're
And with the added bonus of you never have to worry about downtime because at any point you can just run to a hardware store and buy a new window air conditioner. But, trying to get someone to come out to service your walk-in cooler is like a nightmare. So
yeah. So that happened. We got all these mats from them that you can do.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to try those out.
That you can do soil blocks on, like we were just talking about. So basically, the one side is like impermeable. It's like a hard rubber.
Yeah, I think they're like a wicking mat.
Yeah, and then the other side has, you know,
So, okay, so what it looks like is one side is like some heavy duty industrial waterproof type material.
yeah,
And then the other side is looks like just landscape fabric, but then there's like a hole in it and you can see inside and there's some sort of like white thing, which
like an
is
absorbent material.
which must be like the wicking thing. And then what you do, it's like a rectangle, and then you run like a drip line through the hose, like underneath the landscape fabric, which then feeds water into the mat.
Yeah, so then the mat just fills up with water, and then the soil blocks just wick it
Yeah,
up
and then if
as
you have
they need
soil
it.
blocks directly on top of it, it self waters them.
And each mat is, it's what,
It's a good
2 feet?
size.
2
No,
feet
like big,
deep?
like
It's,
3
okay,
or
so
4.
It's probably no,
right?
it's only about 3 feet wide, if that. But it's probably 8 feet long,
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. No, 8 feet, really?
something like that. They're maybe they're
Maybe
6.
more like 6. Yeah,
So,
like a 2x6.
What we're saying is it's somewhere between 2 and 4 feet wide and 6. to
It's a
8
good
feet
size. What
long.
we're saying is it's a good
Yeah,
size.
because we have like a dozen of these, and they're all brand new.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm super excited to play with them because I almost bought a wicking mat to experiment with this spring until I was like, oh, I have no money, so.
yeah. What
But-
other cool things did we get from them? Anything?
Oh man, just like
Lots of poly.
yeah,
lots of
like we
green
got
poly.
like an entire load of poly, which it's stuff that he was like, I don't know, like he gave us like a bunch of the hoops, like
Oh, yeah.
the mini hoops.
For like the low tunnels, we could probably
We could cover our entire farm with low tunnels out of the hoops that he's
we
given
have so
us.
many,
Yeah.
which is good.
Well, yeah, I mean,
We'll use them eventually.
well, and also, so I'm gonna put in 1,000 square foot like flower farm space, and then the one trick that people use for because when you grow flowers for cut flowers, you want them to be really leggy and like packed in, and then they start to get all floppy and they fall over, so you have to support them. And so what I've seen is people say that you use the hoops to hold like a mesh in place. So when the hoop starts to turn up, you just kind of have like the mesh in there and it gets like pushed up, but it never pushes like past where it goes. So it holds it up at like, like a 18-inch height, and then it supports the flowers that way. So
Sometimes I'm like, man, we've taken on too much stuff, and then I'm like, oh yeah, and we're doing flowers this year.
yeah, but the flowers like
Yeah, bouquets.
it it's all under it's good. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm not worried.
Yeah.
I've
Ian doesn't know because so I made that video for all of you guys, but I also where I explained my farm plan. But I also made it because I kept trying to tell Ian the farm plan, and he's like, yeah, da da da, and then he's like, I don't. What do you mean we're doing this? What do you mean we're doing that? So part of like making that farm plan video was to be like, sit down and watch this. Like now you know what we're doing. So
Yep.
apparently I have to make a flower farm plan video to make Ian sit down and watch and know exactly what we're doing.
Yeah. You know those families when you're going around town and you see them and you're like, ooh, those people look trashy. That's us. we've been doing like all these swimming lessons with the kids, and like we've just been like crazy busy, like we said, and like so the kids, will be eating in the car, so they'll have like food all over their faces or whatever. And Sam's like this little like wild man who can just roam this property as he pleases, so he feels like he's entitled to go where he wishes. And like Leo, she really likes to pick all of her own clothes right now, so. It's all these like bright pattern kids clothes.
Like
It's
layers.
they're like
She's
clash
really
with
into
each other.
layers. She's like
Yeah.
she'll like layer like dresses over top of each other.
And like I'm just always wearing I seem to always be wearing things that are jogging pants material right now. Like this is what I wore out today. I got my jogging pants with paint stains and like a jogging cinch. You can't see this, but I've got all this like grease stains
Oh,
all over it.
it's like in the
Yeah.
in the boob fold.
This just came out of the dryer today. This is clean. This is how it looks clean. But like I've been cleaning out the shop, so like I've been going through all these old greasy tools and stuff, and I'm gross, so I don't care. I'll like carry stuff against me. I'll just get really dirty. Doesn't matter. I'll clean myself at the end.
The
And
last time I
so
took
we're rolling around town all the time with these like super dirty kids who are like wild. They're not badly behaved kids. They're not crying or anything like that. But like they're energetic and they're like not scared of getting hurt because they just run around all day. And then like I'm this like person wearing these like dirty trash clothes. And
the last time I took the kids swimming, both of them were like so dirty. Like you're supposed to like shower before you like go into the pool because you're supposed to like get all the dirt off so it doesn't go in. But they were like, I was like, you need to like, we need to get like a solid scrub off.
Yeah.
Like their feet were like black. I was like, yeah, you need to like have a serious shower before we go in the pool. And then when we left and I was like putting all my clothes on because it was like, oh, like I had to interrupt potting things to go do the swimming lessons and I was coming straight back to potting stuff. So I'm like, I'm not bringing a change of clothes. I'm going in, like I'm going in farm clothes and I'm coming back in farm clothes. And I was wearing like these dirty leggings. And then I had these socks. Like when you get it, so the
did you
pool
have your like
change room-
socks rolled up?
yeah, yeah. So I like this is like what I've been wearing, but so I had like like leggings and then like socks. But when you like change in the pool, you have to put your pants on, and then very last thing is socks because it's
So
wet.
your socks are like rolled up over.
So my socks went up over, and Ian and I share socks. So all of my socks are like knee high, like men's socks.
Men's black athletic socks.
And well, in theory, they're supposed to be black. We have like a rule where it's like only black, because then like they always match if they're only black. But my favorite ones, is also some gray ones. So I was wearing one gray one, one black one, pulled up like to my knees, and the leggings that I was wearing are these like really really ugly floral.
Those flower ones?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
my mom bought them for me, and I was like, "Oh, thanks, mom." She's like, "Oh, they're funky," and
They-
I was
they
like,
were-
I'm gonna wear them because they're like comfortable, and I don't care." But they're like pajama pants.
They're in no way fashionable.
Yeah, they're like pajama
In
pants.
no-
They're like the type of thing that you like wear to bed. You don't wear in public. Yeah, so I got these like floral things with like my mismatched socks pulled up over my knees, like dirty. And then my hair's probably all like, ah. And I'm like out of the swimming lessons and I'm like, stop it. And all the moms in the playground were all like, oh my God, like, what? And totally, it was exactly as Ian said. They were all giving me like, that is the trashy family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little do they know that we live in paradise.
Yep.
They
Feels good to be trashy.
They
We were like, we're gonna move to Lake Country, which is like the suburb that we're in. And we're gonna be like Lake Country people.
Yeah, we
And
were
so-
already trashy then. Like we were.
Oh yeah, like like yeah. We haven't changed.
Yeah.
We're just slightly dirtier because we're busy.
We're actually living our best life. Doing this. This is our best self.
Yeah.
We also neither of us have shame. Like
Oh yeah, like what? I'm gonna feel embarrassed that I'm like wearing dirty clothes.
if we were like always clean and tidy and stuff, then nothing would get done.
Yeah, totally.
I don't feel bad about it at all.
Nope.
But it is.
It's my zero waste thing. I take weekly showers now because not only does it save on water and energy and shampoo and soap, it's probably one of the biggest zero
Yeah.
waste impacts I can make by doing reduced bathing.
We live in like Kelowna, and it's probably one of the only places in the interior of BC that is like more like classy big city type people. Like people in Kelowna,
Yeah,
they like
people.
fancy things and stuff, but pretty much all the other communities in the interior of BC are more country people that are like small town, small cities.
Yeah, like it's definitely an agricultural
But
area.
yeah, it is. It's kind of this weird place because like there's billionaires that live here because it's uh, kind of like this playground area for all these like rich people, and
Yeah, I
so
mean
there's
it's
like
beautiful, right? It's these hot, dry summers where there's just like lakes
yeah,
and yeah. So
where a lot of rich Canadians spend their time. Like players all have like houses out here, and like people who got rich in the oil patch in Alberta, and then people who are rich from their property turning into $1 billion from Vancouver. Like everybody comes here to party in the summer, and so it's kind of got this like, you know, everybody holds themselves to like the city expectation of, you know, who you are and what's important in life,
yeah,
and
like resort wear in the fact that it's like casual. Like in Kelowna, like you can wear stuff that's considered like too casual in like a city like Toronto. Like fancy sandals or fancy shoes. Like you could wear fancy sandals instead of like high-heeled shoes, and you can wear like a flowy summer dress to like a wedding. But at the same time, everyone's like spending money on like their looks. Everyone,
yeah,
there's lots of hairdressers, lots of nail salons, and everyone, there's a lot of people walking around who have like bi-monthly or no bi-weekly $100 hairdos.
yeah,
Like blondes that aren't blonde, but they look better than
yeah,
blondes because they've spent crazy, crazy money on their hair.
yeah.
And
And
yeah.
then I like walk downtown into a fancy place, and I'm like, I got my rubber boots on. I'm like walking down the main street, and it's like flop, 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 flop.
See, I like that Ian always wears his rubber boots. And I know that like we get some comments sometimes of people being like, "Does Ian ever take those off? Does he wear those to bed?" And literally, no, he like doesn't take them off. He pretty much wears them to bed. But they're steel-toed boots, right?
No,
So
they're like
like
slip-on steel toes.
yeah, so he's like out doing like construction work and like he's like running like power tools and stuff and but he has like steel toes on. So,
Mhm.
like I'm stoked that
You know what's
safety
you
first.
know what's really helped with the steel toes or with the boots?
What?
Setting up my boot dryer. I have like a work boot dryer that I take with me like when I'm running chainsaw, and it's just so nice to put on these big rubber boots and have them be dry because it's hard on the feet otherwise.
Sorry, I'm reading comments.
Yeah. You disrupted my flow.
Yeah, our goal is to max out our property too,
Yeah,
but it's gonna take us a little while. We
it
figure.
will. But like I think we've already pretty much allotted all the space.
Yep, no space for anything else.
Yeah.
We're
'Cause
gonna.
I don't even know what we're gonna do with the chickens after this year.
Well, we're not gonna have that many chickens
I know, but where are we gonna put them?
in the yard. I want the chickens right near the house. Ian's all like, no, chickens gotta be like away from the house. But I want the chickens away from the farm, like as far as they can get from the farm, and close to the house because when Ian's in charge of chickens, but he goes away for the winter, and then I'm gonna be the one who has to drag water out to them multiple times a day when it's like freezing cold and take care of them. So I want them like as easy as possible to do that. I want them like right close.
Yeah.
That's my plan.
We're already like, where do we put strawberries? Where do we put raspberries?
I know we have like we don't have a garden. We don't have any like we don't have any personal garden space.
Yeah.
I have these trays of onions and they are very, very sad. I have very sad onions, but I'm like, I don't know where to put them. And we want to like plant like cabbage and broccoli and cauliflower and like
Well, we're gonna get that caterpillar tunnel done.
well, but that's like
Yeah,
that's
but
gonna be
then-
for
then-
tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Well, whatever. I don't know. I don't know where stuff's going. We're out of space.
we're out of space.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
That is a lot of garden. Some like good news is we've been getting like our green supply back. So I eat a meal a day just kind of like scrounging from the garden. You know, like I'll just go and I'll just eat kale or whatever is growing in the garden.
We have
And that's like a
we have a raw vegan diet for one meal a day.
Yeah.
Called go find what you
Go-
want to
go eat. Just
go
go
eat
eat.
out of the garden.
and so last year that whole pattern was like disrupted crazy. We had some
I know
stuff
we
in the
got
spring-
so fat last year.
Yeah.
Just by like not having a garden to eat out of. It's crazy.
And I felt like really gross.
Yeah.
My like just my body was like ugh. And
Yeah, we'd be like it would be I mean we were tired because we were working hard, but also like
we were going back and forth between like this house and our old house and just eating food on the
no,
way.
but like yeah, so we ate so much fast food. Our kids got all obsessed with like Happy Meals because we ate so much fast food.
Yeah.
But like yeah, it was crazy like cuz that was the only time that we've ever kind of eaten that way just cuz we had no time
And-
to cook meals and yeah, like it makes you like feel like fatigued.
So we got all this like choy coming in right now. No, if you don't know, I'm a choy boy.
Ian's Troy Boy over
I am
here.
obsessed with choy. It's so good. It's like, you know, we got this one right now and you like bite it and it's like a chip. Like it's so crispy and like thick. And then it just like, you know, it'll leave like the perfect little like foot or mouth like cut out from your teeth. It's perfect. And it like tastes amazing. But what the real superstar right now
Yeah.
is this like red leafed
Oh.
mustard green.
We're not salad people. Like, in fact, it hurts my heart a little bit that we're gonna be growing and selling so much lettuce.
Yeah.
Because I'm morally opposed to lettuce. Whose idea was it to grow lettuce? Let's weed dandelions out of our yard and like eat frickin' garbage lettuce.
Yeah, but
Like,
there's so many better
ugh.
things, like this
but
red
so
leaf mustard.
oh, so good. It's so good. I
What
not
a-
liking lettuce, but it's still so
Yeah,
good.
it's got this amazing flavor to it. I gave a nice, you know, little selection of leaves to my buddy the other day who's doing some wiring for us in the outbuilding, and he's like, he puts it in his mouth and he's like, oh yeah, that'd be good on like a sandwich. Oh yeah, he's like, whoa, it just keeps getting better. I was like, I know, I'm so excited about this, and so we had this like bed of it, and I was kind of like trying to sneak, you know, leave out of it.
I planted a lot because I knew.
But then I was thinking to myself, I'm like, what market are we gonna sell this stuff that's like coming, you know, all
Ian's
that's
like, I'm
already
eating
ready.
it all. I'm gonna be in.
And then I
Serena's
was-
gonna give me
Yeah.
so much.
And I got to admit that a little bit of guilt actually makes things taste better when it's like, ooh, that's naughty food. And so I was feeling a little bit guilty eating because I'm like, oh, that one's big enough to eat, and that one's big enough to eat, and that one's big enough to. And then Serena's like, she's like, oh yeah, that whole bed, that's just for us. And I'm like, ah, I'm gonna eat it all now. It's so good. But this mustard, the leaves will get like
Yeah, they get massive.
huge.
Gets like really big.
And-
like big, like,
It's amazing because normally when like things have
and it gets
leaves,
really spicy when it gets big, which is the way we like it.
yeah,
It tastes like you eat a leaf, and it tastes like you put Dijon mustard on top of your salad.
yeah,
That's what it
it's
tastes
so
like.
good.
It's so good.
Yeah,
I don't even like mustard.
yeah,
like Dijon mustard, but these mustard
They're so
greens,
good.
so good.
because there's no like real bitterness there at all. It's not.
I know it's sweet and spicy.
Yeah,
yeah, but a little bitter, but like bitter in like a good way.
yeah, and it feels like it's gonna take you right to the edge of what you can take,
I don't know what that.
but it
means.
doesn't. But it,
Oh, you
it
like-
holds back.
Yeah, like when you first take a bite, you're like, oh, it's gonna be super spicy. But then, like, you know how like a hot pepper, like the burn, like you get the burn,
And then
and it like builds and builds and builds. Whereas like with the mustard greens, you get this like snap of heat, but then it's gone, and then it's just left with like flavor.
mhm.
Yeah, they're really good.
And there's some flavors some flavors I find you need to like breathe out to be able to appreciate them. You know, it's like the second
I'm gonna make fun of you.
wave
I'm gonna make fun of
of
you right
flavor.
now. Haha, that is ridiculous thing
No,
to say.
I say it all the time. So I'm standing behind.
Oh,
I feel no shame. So
Ian's a garden sommelier. He's,
other
he's gonna explain the complex flavor
I
profile.
call it out breathing. And other foods,
Okay, but
other
when you're
foods-
done chewing it, do you spit it into the bucket?
No. Other things that you outbreathe is the sea kale, and the sea kale is
Oh, the
comes from-
sea kale's so good.
Yeah, you like have the little like broccoli.
You eat
type
it. You
stuff.
eat the flower buds like broccoli.
Yeah, and it's got this crazy complex flavor.
It tastes like broccoli if broccoli tasted like heaven.
Mhm.
That's what it tastes like.
And
It's like it's just imagine if like you like I don't know, I can't even describe it. It's so good.
we've talked about it before, but it's really hard to find because the seeds are really hard to germinate. It grows like it's literally first thing next to the ocean in like northern.
Yeah, it's like a weed
England.
that grows like
It's like ocean,
On-
sand, and then it's growing in the sand. And so the seeds
or in like the rocks.
the
It grows
seeds-
in rocks.
are used to like getting smashed around in the ocean for a while, and then they're like,
Yeah, and it like grows with like seawater watering it. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So it's a very difficult plant to get to germinate, but once it does, it seems to like grow quite well because every year it's coming back bigger and bigger.
Yeah, it's
And-
ours is really happy.
We actually had we kind of accidentally split it last year, and both of them have popped back up. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because we dug it up and took it with us to transplant it, and then like a month later, before the house sold, we were like, oh look, there's like another one that's grown, and there was like a little piece of root that had gotten left in the ground, and it grew into a new plant. So I'm kind of excited about the idea of being able to divide the plant in the future
Yeah,
to get more, just because
that's how
getting
people,
it off of
that's how
seeds
people
is
usually
just like a
do
nightmare.
it. Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
from the
Oh,
little
this-
bit of research I've done on it.
Yeah. I mean, I can get a tomato to germinate, but that's about the extent of my my propagation skills.
There's been very little unsuccessful like plants that we brought over from our old place. Almost everything that we did last year ended up turning out.
Ian was a non-believer. He's like, "You're making me do all this work,
Well-
or bringing all these plants. They're gonna be dead."
I was pretty mad.
And every like,
I had to do a lot of work.
because it.
I was
it-
tired of digging.
And it did. It looked like everything was dead. We like planted it all in the ground, and then he's like, "It's all dead, and you made me spend like, like."
I got a little angry because when we went to prep all the beds here, we started running into cherry stumps everywhere, and it just turned into this big like
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
quagmire.
Yeah, but
Hello.
Ian was a non-believer, but perennials are crazy how hardy they are, and I knew this, so I was like, nope, dig it up, smash it. Who cares? Don't water it. It'll make it.
One thing that did that,
And
I was happy with
and
that.
what do I always say?
I don't know.
What do I always say?
I never- I
I'm right.
literally
I'm
never-
right.
I
That's what
literally
I
never
always
listened to you.
say. I always say I'm right. You're wrong, and that's exactly what happened. Okay, so kombucha. If you're doing the making a culture from a store bought and it's been 8 days, you probably want to leave it a little bit longer. Because you want like a pretty thick layer on the top, but more importantly, you want the kombucha inside your jar to get really acidic. Because that first batch that you make, most of it is just going to get used to start your future batches. I wouldn't necessarily drink that first batch. I personally would just keep it like to go for about 3 weeks till it's like really sour, vinegary, and then I'd make another batch, and from there I'd go. You know, by that point the culture should be strong enough that you can actually pull some off and make new stuff. Because if you go to make something new and your starter liquid isn't acidic enough, then it might just go moldy because it needs to be acidic. So if you took all of that and bottled it, now it might taste good, but it might also mean that you have to like start from scratch again, like in a round or two, because it'd be likely for mold.
Well, that seems like a great place to leave it.
Yeah, we haven't eaten dinner yet. We made dinner for the kids, but so our dinner is like it's literally on the other side of the camera through the window,
Yeah,
and
I'm hungry.
yeah, I'm hungry too. But I don't have to go straight back to potting up tomatoes.
Yep.
Yay!
And maybe tonight I'll build you a irrigation system for the farm.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yep. Okay,
Yep.
I'm calling it.
Okay. And I do actually have to make. I do have to make more seedling things today. Anyways,
Yeah, you gotta do the soil blocks.
I need to do a couple, like a dozen trays of soil
Yep.
blocks because I have to start squash now.
Yep. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us, everyone. We'll hopefully have another video out soon. But I think the next video is going to go on to the new channel. So if you guys don't know, it should be down in the description. There's a link. We have a second channel. This channel has no comments, and our new channel has comments. So most of the time we try to put the stuff where we want to talk to you guys
Yeah.
up on the new channel, just so you guys can still comment and everything.